Hey everybody, welcome to Futro Hidden Movie Gems podcast. I'm your host, Ty Spiker Christensen.
Gosh, you're trying to spike the audio.
Maybe I'm trying to spike the audio. I'm just bringing all the intensity and love. I missed you guys. I missed the podcast. I'm still so good to be back.
Yeah, Cameron's like, I haven't seen Ty on forever. I don't remember.
I know, it's like
time.
maybe I stopped loving movies or something. Found something else that I'm more passionate about than movies.
You've just been working really late lately.
I have been working. It is that time of year again where I'm like, I should be earning more money than I am. So I have to get out there and work. No, it's just
I think the last episode we were on together was The Invitation. And
that sounds right.
That was the first week of October.
I missed Barbarian, which I watched, by the way, and I can't wait to talk about it.
Oh, good. Okay, good. I wasn't sure.
Movie's nuts. Holy crap. You know what it reminds me of? I'll just before we get into what we're talking about today, it reminds me so much of Don't Breathe. And I'll talk to you about like why
yes. I mentioned that at the end. I said, what's worse? I said, is it worse to be kidnapped by the guy from Don't Breathe or the old woman?
I guess it just depends if you're a woman or a man.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yo, guys, today we are discussing Weird Al Yankovic. Or is it just called Weird Al? Weird Al Yankovic story?
I'm pretty sure
it's called the Al Yankovic story.
Well,
we're reviewing the movie Weird, and we'll be talking about his body of work.
Yeah,
Weird Al Yankovic. But we still got to talk about the movie because
we can,
and it's an amazing movie.
I just don't see that being timeless like his work of art.
We have some non-believers in the audience, everybody, on the podcast. So,
yeah.
Guys, today let's get into it. I was going to say, take it easy. I can't remember what he says. He's like, take it easy. The lone wolf, and the lone wolf roams where he wants to. Oh. Freaking love Jack Black, dude. Guys, do you guys have a quote? Jordan Christensen's on the podcast.
Like a surgeon.
Hey! And we got Jordan. I already announced Jordan. We've got Cameron Mickle on the podcast.
Living in an Amish paradise.
Because you're saying lyrics. I love it. And because this movie is like a really
It was in the movie.
Oh, I know. I'm saying it's great that the quotes that you're choosing are from the lyrics from his music videos because, I love this movie. I think this is really funny.
Nothing rhymes with
nothing
virgin.
Rhymes with virgin. It could be like I can't think of anything. So let's get into like some of my favorite parts that were totally Weird Al. One, his father just beating up the accordion salesman, like the door-to-door salesman that comes to his house, starts decking him out. He's like, Dad, you're gonna kill him. The wife comes home, like, I'm so sorry. He just has a temper. Like, he's like, oh, it's fine. And then he like interrupts, like, could you help me? I think one of my lungs has collapsed. He's like, excuse me, sir, we're having a moment. I freaking love that. It was so funny. Anyway, I could quote this whole movie.
Well, I loved at the pool party, there were so many like
80s references.
Well, yeah, and very niche groups like Elvira, like she has kind of a cult following and she like reviewed horror movies. And then they had Pink Flamingo, like at the pool party. There's just like all these different people that like
I know the guys from Lonely Island were there, like the guys that do all the parody songs, right? Like
and and then they had the guys, the Whip It guys with the little cone hats. And John Waters' film Pink Flamingo. Anyways, there's just lots of very like
Herman
I said
was there, but it was
Pee Wee Herman.
Yeah.
It's just funny because there's so many, and then one of the players from Queen, which he turned down.
Dude, it was freaking our boy Polka Dot Man, dude, from all Denny Villeneuve's films. Is that actor, dude? I love seeing him.
I love him.
And from the Suicide Squad.
It's weird to think a guy that is off-putting and as weird and alien-looking as him is getting like so much work these days. It's amazing. I love it. Hey, we're gonna be playing a little gig at Wembley Stadium at Live Aid. Would you like to play that song in front of millions of adoring fans? Hard pass. Because that's exactly how it went down, dude. Just screw yourself, Queen, or the singer, bassist from Queen. Oh my gosh, that was so funny. Gosh, guys, let's talk about this movie. So let's go around. Two of your favorite things from this movie, and we'll start with you, Cam.
I thought Daniel Radcliffe was really funny in this movie.
Dude, he's acting his heart out. It was amazing.
Yeah, because the last movie I saw him in, he sucked. It was Now You See Me Too, and it was almost like he was trying too hard.
Mm.
And I think it also had to do with the writing in that film. But I was just like, I don't know how I'm feeling about this. But in this one, it was pretty funny. Especially like just him with the accordion and like at that party and how everyone was just like thought he was the coolest kid. I was like,
Yeah, why don't you
I was
live a
like,
little,
what
man? You
alternate
afraid your parents are gonna
reality?
find out that you played an accordion?
Like,
I mean, it's
what
clearly a
alternate
play on
reality
like
are
the
you
high school
from?
movies where he tries drugs or alcohol for the first time, right?
Okay, I want to know, where do
No.
people have polka parties?
They don't, George. That's the point. Like,
I
this
know.
isn't his upbringing, but which was so funny because it made me have a reality check where like the movie just kind of like slowly like builds and builds. You're like, maybe it happened kind of like this, and at the end you're like, wait, did Weird Al single-handedly take down Pablo Escobar and his entire Colombian drug ring? Like, that's nuts. Like,
Well,
anyway.
it had me guessing for like questioning for a second with Michael Jackson. I was like, there's no way he released that song before Beat It. And I was
My
like,
favorite part was when he's like, "Oh, Michael Jackson made this song. It's parroting your song, Eat It, but it's about fighting or not fighting." That was my favorite comics. It's like it's about gang violence or not fighting, not fighting. Anyway, I thought that was hilarious. Like, anyway, Weird Al, dude, taking shots at the King of Pop's original song, "Beat It." It was so funny, dude. The parodies are great. I didn't realize how much he sang about food. Like, but there's really nothing much funnier than food, you know? Like just chilling with his friends in the apartment, like my bologna.
yeah, I
Like
think
a
that was probably,
sandwich.
I
So
think
good.
that's probably my second favorite thing is just his friends were really funny, and I just love how like supportive, and then just like he needs somebody up there with him, and they're just like all masters of
It's like,
instruments.
when
And
did
I
you
was like,
guys learn to
what
play
the
now? Or what does he say to him? He's like, we just felt compelled to do it. I can't remember what he says,
yeah,
but
I
he's
don't
like,
remember
yeah,
what they said, but I was like, what the fudge is happening?
it's great. How about you, Jordan? Two of your favorite things from this film?
Definitely the music, because I grew up listening to Weird Al music, and as soon as I heard his music for the first time, I just remember thinking, like, I found somebody that I like.
It's as weird as me.
Yes, I love his music so much, and I just remember hearing it for the first time. I was so excited, and I had a friend make a copy for me of his songs.
And we
And
have to say, like, and the slapstick humor. That's such a big part of this. It's so Three
yes,
Stooges-esque, you know, it's just slapstick, but like, dude, I totally agree. Yeah, music is excellent.
well, and then Alex bought me his DVD, and it had all like his
His
best
music videos.
music videos, and
Some of the funniest
I
ones.
remember watching that many a times with the family.
yeah, well,
The
because
one where he gets a hernia scared me though, because I thought I had a hernia for the longest time. And I was like, don't watch that video. Because anytime you mention the hernia, Cameron, you had a hernia, and I was so terrified I had a hernia too. I think I just pulled a leg muscle. For the longest time, I'd check myself for lumps or whatever, the bulging intestine. I'd be like turning my head and coughing. I check myself like every day at school, dude. Every time I go to the bathroom, I'm like, I don't know, is there a bulge there? I don't know, but I'm too scared to tell anyone because then they're gonna have to cut me open and do surgery. One of my biggest
That's
phobias.
funny. The fat video always made me super
Oh my
uncomfortable,
gosh.
and I hated it. Like as a
Dude,
kid, I
that's
was just
the
really
best
uncomfortable with
intro.
hey man, where you been? We've been looking for you.
Eat
the
this;
way
Oh,
it's
you
good
know,
for you.
the
around.
way he
I
just
can literally quote
shoves
it
stuff in his
verbatim. Yeah.
face.
Eat this, man. It's good for you. I'm not really hungry right now. Hey man, what is it with you? Are you on some kind of diet? Is that what they teach you in that sissy school of
Sissy school.
yours? Hey man, back off it, man. Back off. Are you fat or what? Leave me alone. Are you fat? You ain't fat. Get off of it. Stop.
Nothing.
You ain't nothing.
Nothing.
You ain't nothing. Dude, that
Oh.
over the top act. Gosh, it is so funny. And then you watch side by side, like the original music videos. It was so funny how he was mocking not only the song, but also like the space in which he was occupying was like a mockery of the music video, and the like he's making those sound effects, grabbing himself like the Michael Jackson in Bad, you know. But anyway, it's just he's a master of his craft.
Very
I want
clever.
to take the songs that already exist
And better.
make the lyrics better.
And his dad, you can't do that.
You can't do that. Go ahead. We got a little regular Bing Crosby on our hands. Why don't you play the song, son? Amazing grapes, how sweet the juice. Stop it! That's not natural. What's wrong with you? Like I made the lyrics better. No, it's confusing. Sorcery, dude. Oh my
Reminds me
gosh.
of like the psycho parents that say like Harry Potter is like sorcery or
Sorcery,
whatever.
exactly. Yeah. It's like you will not
Like
be meddling
that's how smart, intelligent you guys look.
in this. Oh my gosh, my favorite is that phone call he makes to his parents or his mom. She's like, "Well, my dad, it's like, is dad there? Has he talked about me?" He's like, "Yeah, he just wanted to say he's still not proud of you. He's definitely not proud of you. You want to make that very clear." She's like, "Okay, I got it, mom." He's like, "You just have to understand, he doesn't really want kids." He's like, "Okay, mom." It's so funny. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's so great.
I wish I watched it with you. I'm really bummed that I didn't get to.
Dude, don't watch these movies alone. I watched it with Maddie. We had a great time. This movie's
Well, I
funny.
watched it with my wife and she laughed the whole time. I don't know what my deal
You're a hard
was.
sell. Yeah, you're a hard
No,
sell.
I feel like parody in high school, it was like the perfect thing for me and growing up. Like I loved all the scary movies. I loved
Yeah.
everything Weird Al did. But for some reason, I don't know, it was just gotten turned into a curmudgeon. Now I'm older.
Yeah, you are.
Old
I'm the cynic
curmudgeon.
one, but see, here's the thing. Like, for example, like we can address it. One, I almost love the fact that when he's lip syncing, like it's clearly Weird Al singing, and Daniel
Yes.
Radcliffe is like mouthing,
Yes.
and it's like almost like a bad lip sync, but it kind of makes it funnier. Like he's standing there, he's like, "Toast is done, toast is done." Yeah, my Bologna, and every time he's singing, it's like clearly mouthing.
Yeah.
I find it funnier, like, because again, it's not him. And then I love that Weird Al plays as some record label
Yes.
guy that's
And
like
Will
telling Weird Al,
Forte,
"You'll never." Oh my gosh, Will Forte! Don't even get me
he is
started.
so funny.
You're a disgrace. I think you're ugly. You're a talentless hack. He's like, "Okay, take it easy." And it's great because again, it's Weird Al. It's like Will Forte. It's like a 4D joke or whatever, right? It's like a meta joke. It's very funny. Weird Al is literally being insulted by. It's just he's a guy that could take a joke, and that's what's so great about this. Like, no kids have polka parties. His roommates, no one gets successful overnight. They're like, they're playing my song on the radio. Like, never mind. Like,
Like a
I get to
second
listen
later.
around and wait to get famous. Yeah, it's
That was
nuts.
pretty
Like,
great.
it was hilarious. I loved it. And then like Madonna shows up and it's like his girlfriend, and I was like, okay, I know for a fact this didn't happen. I'm
Yeah,
like,
and then, well, at
wait
the
a
end,
minute,
then they
what's
have
going
a
on here?
picture, and I'm like, what? And it was all photoshopped. I'm like, oh.
Guys, the end credits was like one of the funniest things. One, the movie ends with like a guy ready to kill Weird Al at his like Emmy Award or whatever.
Oh yeah, he's
And
got like a
he
machine
gets
gun.
shot up, and the funniest part is they have photos of the event, and you see like like 2 seconds after he's shot up, there's like blood all over the wall. I was dying laughing, dude. It was so messed up. Oh my gosh, it's so great. Ends with like subtitles like Weird Al was killed.
Yeah.
Again, like again, this movie's ahead of its time because we are seeing a slate of this is Bohemian Rhapsody, Rocket
Well,
Man, the
have
Elton
you seen
John
Pop
movie.
Star, Ty?
I did see Pop Star, but
It
was
reminds
that
me a
one?
lot of that.
Well, that one was ahead of its time too. But what I'm trying to
Mhm.
understand is that one wasn't speaking to this biopic movie genre we're in right now. Where like Elvis was the latest movie that came out, Bohemian
Oh,
Rhapsody, Rocket Man. They're making fun of those like musician movies where it's like I have something to prove, no one understood me, and then I went out and then like I almost lost all my friends when I hit my low. I became an alcoholic, I became addicted to drugs. They had all those beats, and then it's great when he survives his wreck. He like comes up with the song to Madonna's like a surgeon to her like a virgin. It's great. They defibrillate him, and he wakes up, he's like, ah, and then he grabs the guy, give me a pencil. give me something to write with. That's great, it's so funny. But there was one
I love
truth.
his
Oh
mom.
yeah,
She's like super fat, and then she's like,
I fat. I
I'm
know it.
fat.
I know it. She's saying the lyrics to
Yeah.
the song. I love it. And they did the thing where he takes LSD from Dr. Dementos, played by Rainn Wilson. Love it. And he takes LSD
Oh.
and he's singing the lyrics to Eat It.
That's
Like, don't be
right.
such a fussy young man, just, don't want no Captain Crunch Raisin Bran. It's great. It's lyrics of his song, and
That's
they're
right.
like
I forgot
fueled by
about that.
LSD, which I thought was super funny. But again, this Weird Al is like a pretty tame guy. Like, he doesn't use a lot of profanity. He does mock things. Like, he's like,
Well, apparently his parents did support him, and
oh
like,
yeah, you should look at the things that are accurate and the things that aren't. One thing that is accurate, they recorded his first song in a bathroom, in a public restroom. What I
oh,
loved about that,
cool. Okay.
yeah, what I loved about that scene is when they go in there, the guys at the urinal, they just like shoo him out. He's like zipping up his pants, like, get out of here. And when they start playing the Sharona, they record it in there. I thought that was so funny. Oh man,
It
maybe
was
come back to
definitely
us
really
when you have
cool.
more than one song. Okay, I love it. Oh gosh, so great. Dr. Demento. Don't do that. It's like trying to get demented. Stop doing that. Oh gosh. Yeah, okay. So I didn't even go into the cast. I forgot. This movie came out in 2022. It was directed by Eric Apple, or is it Appel? I don't know. But he did a short sketch of, there was like a Funny or Die video. Did you guys see that? It happened earlier this year. It was actually a sketch. I think Aaron
I heard
Paul was
about
in
it.
it.
Yeah.
It's really funny, and it literally inspired this whole movie, and that's the reason it got made. But
It's kind of like Deadpool. They did like just a short clip, and then it blew up, and so they made a movie into it.
because he did like a few episodes of Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Cameron, and things like that. Like, I know that you've seen, and New Girl, all that kind of stuff that you watch. So
Yeah.
it has humor that's very, akin to that.
Mhm.
Oh, you did 4 episodes, but still. But in that same vein, like that's the niche, right? That kind of over the top comedy. Oh, but gosh, so cameos galore. I mentioned Jack Black. Weird Al plays like a record label. You had Josh Groban. Do you guys ever seeing him
Oh,
at the
that's right,
waiter
at
at
the
the restaurant
restaurant.
slaps the salmon out of his hand? I love that. They're just making a mockery of like other musicians. You had Thomas Lennon in this movie. Toby Huss played his father. It's like, hey, I could get you a job at the factory. And he's like, Dad, what do you even make there? He's like, you can find out what we make at the factory when you get a job at the factory. Oh my gosh, I love it. It's so funny.
Well, I was just looking at some of the trivia and like the history things, and it's kind of interesting too. Like the Yankovic bump is like it was actually a real thing. Like lots of artists saw like an uptick in their sales
Oh
after
yeah,
his parody, so
absolutely.
like they would love him. They're like, oh yeah, it just
Well, and it
brings
almost
more
gave you
revenue.
it gave you like a renewed sense of appreciation if the original song creators were like cool with it, because it's like if they're willing to laugh about themselves, like it kind of makes you cooler, right? Like in a way you don't take
Absolutely.
yourself so dang serious, right? That's why I actually like the idea that Madonna was like, I need Weird Al to like make myself become immortal, which was really funny. She's like such a destructive character. It's like, here, take alcohol and be mean to your friends. Like, I thought that was really funny. But because again, this is the same thing. If you watch Bohemian Rhapsody, Freddie Mercury's gay friend literally does this. He's like, here, meet my friends. Or it's like The Social Network. It's freaking Justin Timberlake's character, right? And it's like very that thing where it's like, I'm gonna make you a big sensation, and you can hang out with the people that I hang out with. It's amazing. But yeah, it's great. I probably interrupted you guys. Were you guys still saying your 2 favorite things?
No, I did
No,
like
I
Pablo
already said mine.
Escobar.
Yeah, he was great. What's that
Yeah,
actor's name? He's in a lot of Funny or Die sketches. I think
yeah,
he's
he is.
hilarious.
I
I
just
got a full.
I just like that they brought Pablo Escobar. It kind of reminded me of that Nicolas Cage movie. It just,
Yes, this reminds me of Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent
yeah,
for sure. This movie had a very similar feel to that, like kind of over the top, a little meta, self-referential in a way too. Yeah,
yeah.
very akin to that. But again, like I said, this is almost ahead of its time. But it's like we're going to see more movies like Rocket Man and Elvis and Bohemian Rhapsody if we just wait. Like every year, they come up with a new artist that they got to glorify and do this biopic movie, and they're all the same. It's almost so formulaic, it's almost disgusting. So like in this movie, I knew what was going to happen even before it happened, but they'd always do a little joke and spin off of it and mocking the thing that's going to happen. Like, oh, my parents don't accept me. I moved out on my own. I ended up getting a lucky break, meeting the right people. Then they told me, hey, you gotta builds himself up, meets trouble, hits his low point. All of his friends and everything don't like him. They can't stand him. And then Ascension, and he becomes a better person for it. They perform Live Aid, you know. It's literally Bohemian Rhapsody, all those movies. Anyway, it's so great that it's mocking all those, because these movies are pretty boring. Like, after I didn't even bother to see Rocket Man, and I didn't see Elvis. After I saw Bohemian Rhapsody, I'm like, I know exactly what happens in both of these movies. I promise you, without even having seen Rocket Man, let me know in the comments, am I correct in my assumption that Elton John is going to take a napkin and cough into it and there's going to be blood on it? Am I close there, folks? Like, it's exactly what's going to happen. Elvis, I'm sure he's abused by his record deal guy. Tom Hanks playing a villain. I already know how all this goes down. Anyway, it's just.
But I still like him. Like I like
have you
Straight.
Seen, which have you seen?
I've seen Straight Outta Compton. I started Rocket Man, couldn't get
Compton.
through it.
That's
but I did like the
I didn't think about that.
Freddie Mercury one. I really like that one.
Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, I liked it enough, but yeah, not enough to make me go see Rocket Man.
I don't think it should have won any Oscars, but I definitely think it was a good
best
movie.
Editing. Yeah,
that's ridiculous.
Or even Rami Malek playing like the best Freddie Mercury. I'm like, you didn't even sing. How hard is it to act like Freddie Mercury? Gentle inside.
And he was just acting like himself. Like I've seen it.
Yeah, he's a weirdo. He literally didn't change. I'm like, Freddie Mercury was a little bit more eccentric than I think you let on. But again, it's like,
I thought he was playing
to Freddie Mercury.
Well, I thought he was playing Freddie Mercury, but then I watched the detective one. We just watched it. I'm like, oh, he's playing the same guy.
Yeah. No difference. Same person.
Same person.
Harrison Ford.
And are they as big as he is? Who? His mom and his sister. Same person.
Same person. Name that movie, Cameron.
You know that movie, Cameron?
Sounds bigger for me.
Edgar Wright. Yeah,
Edgar Wright.
Nick Frost. Simon Pegg.
There's like all his movies.
I
know. Yeah. Hot Fuzz. It's that weird hulking guy. Yarp. Like, are they as big as he is? Who? His mom and his sister. Same person.
Same person. I don't know why I love that line so much.
His mom and his sister. His mom and his sister. It makes no sense. Anyway, gosh, guys, Weird Al. Yes. One other thing. I do like the kid from Unbreakable. He's Bruce Willis's kid. Spencer Treat Clark.
He's also from Gladiator.
And Gladiator, yes. It's funny to see him. He reminds me of Haley Joel Osment so much. Like, he's like that actor that was really good in that movie, who's also in Split, or no, it wasn't Split. It was the Glass movie. He's much older now, but anyway, it's just funny to see him there. Like, because I've seen the performance of Yankovic doing Another One Rides the Bus, and it is like just a suitcase on the ground and a few bike horns and an accordion. Like, and it's really impressive parody. Like, I mean, as Another One Bites the Dust is a great song by Queen, but it's very, very humorous that he literally replicates that with like goofy sounds and just a simple suitcase. It's awesome. Or suitcase trunk or whatever you call it. But by golly, folks, let's get into quotes. I guess we quoted a lot of this movie so far. But
I am glad we're talking about it, because it is much more enjoyable now. And also, I feel like it kind of reminds me of like Nacho Libre, where the first time I didn't love it as much, but it's like kind of like more fun to quote and talk about.
Oh, for sure. I felt that way after leaving Hot Fuzz. All I could think is like, it's really funny when he falls down this cliff for like 8 minutes, and I can't explain it to you, but you watch.
I mean, Hot Rod.
Hot Rod. What did I say?
Hot Rod. You said Hot Fuzz.
Oh, I said Hot Fuzz. Yeah. I was thinking Hot Rod. Excuse me. Yeah. But when Andy Samberg rolls down the hill for like 8 minutes, it's not even funny. But when you watch in the theater, it's amazing. The only quote I remembered it the first time I watched it was, "Who would win in a fight, a taco or a grilled cheese sandwich?" And he's like, "Is it prison rules? Fair rules or prison rules?" And they're like, "The taco definitely won." I don't know. That was hilarious, but. Anyway, yeah, I totally agree. Sometimes comedies like hit you weird, and it depends who you watch it with.
Yes, well,
and I'm warming up to it more and more.
I wish, because there's just moments though I did, and I get what you're saying. Like, there's a million of them, but I love based on true story movies. I think they're so good. Like, it's fun to hear somebody else's life, you know, and especially if it's told where you have the budget to make it big like this. So.
Don't worry, when Weird Al dies, they'll then do a biopic movie for real.
Yeah, that's true. Like, they probably will.
Really, they will.
Yeah.
So like, this man was like,
I actually think that's why he made this, because he's like, oh, please don't make one about me.
Please don't make one. Exactly. He is that way. He's like, no, don't. It's ridiculous.
He just takes life too much as a joke. Like, I think it's fine to be serious once in a while, but he's just like, everything's silly to him.
Yeah.
So
I'm glad there's people like him though, man, because heaven knows we need movies like this. There's like just a funny, it's like Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. There's just no agenda. It's just like, hey, remember when movies used to be entertaining?
Yeah.
And
Right?
silly and wacky and over the top. And that's this. I mean, Rainn Wilson literally turns into a Hindu statuesque, feeding him the lines of "just eat it," which is so funny again that when he walks into the record studio with Will Forte and Weird Al, he's like throws the cassette at him, he's like, play it, and he's like, he like puts it in and starts playing it. He's like, I've heard enough. This is great. Like, this is the best thing I've ever heard, or something like that. I love it. Like, no one ever said this to him ever. And anyway, I'm so glad that he stuck.
Has he gotten any platinums or not?
I would be okay. Let's be real. Okay, everyone, real quick. Favorite music video parody that he's done and music video to go along with it.
I think Amish Paradise.
I was gonna say Amish Paradise for sure, hands down. Amish Paradise, and then both mockeries, both Beat It and Fat are so. Eat It and Fat are two of the funniest ones as well.
Yeah, Fat's
accompanying that. But by far, Amish Paradise, I would even argue. I know this is a hot take. I think it's better than the original song.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not lying. Like Gangster's Paradise by Coolio is awesome and whatnot. Which I loved his cameo in this too. He's like
so mad.
So mad. He probably was, because he literally turned like what was like his Nirvana, his like greatest achievement song, and Weird Al just completely made it like a complete joke. Like he really did. And like, so just to finish, my last thought was I think arguably Amish Paradise is better than the original, which I know is a hot take, folks, but it's just down to the video, down to mocking the whole religion and the backwards way of, Amish people. And don't worry, folks, they're not going to be offended because they can't listen to podcasts. I think if they run on electricity, they can't, right? Anyway, amazing. Okay, so real quick, best three. Do you guys have any other videos? Because I will say, when White and Nerdy came out, that was huge. Like, everyone in middle school knew the song and thought it was super funny, because again, this is like Riding Dirty, which was like just like a total gangster song, and just making a complete mockery of it. Like, again, you're just like, I always feel bad for rappers and hip hop artists. Like, as much as you can give the bump, you're almost like, you're gonna turn me into a laughing stock, and take it on the chin, because I think it does more harm to you if you like or despise it, which I think was evident in the Coolio cameo in this one. He's just like so mad at Weird Al. I love it. Like, it just makes you seem so uncool if you can't laugh about yourself, right? So I think a lot of people took it in stride. I actually think Madonna was super cool about it. She's like, oh, it's hilarious, So made her seem cool.
Well, she was actually the one that, I don't know if you already mentioned that, but she was the one that promoted and told Weird Al that he should parody her song in real life.
You should parody one of my songs. Yeah, and then she becomes like his girlfriend. But I didn't know that in real life. But I know that he did, what was it? He did that once with, I Think I Farted Again by Britney Spears. And he said someone else gave him the idea, but he said after that, he's like, I'm going to do only my own ideas. And he tries not to, I don't know. There was something about that. Maybe I heard that wrong, but that was something I remember from growing up. It was like, from now on, I'm not going to have anyone else give me the idea. It's just always going to be like, something that comes to him. And he was like fairly recently, I think like just a few years ago, he was doing like Imagine Dragons. He was doing parodies of he was doing things again. Like, he had retired once from music and parodies, but every once in a while it probably gets to him. He's just thinking about all these hilarious songs that, like, Radioactive came out. That was like the biggest song in 2012 and 13. Radioactive, and he had like a song really Inactive, and it was hilarious. Like,
it was a good
complete mockery of the song, waking up to.
I think I even like it better than the original.
I know. See, again, his parodies were so good that I enjoyed it. One of my favorite ones, never saw the music, and I don't know if there is a video to it, but one of my favorite lyric songs was Why'd You Have to Make It So Complicated? It's by Avril Lavigne or Kelly Clarkson. I don't remember which one.
Avril Lavigne.
And it's like, why'd you have to go and make me decapitated, or like it escalates. He's like, why'd you have to make me so constipated? What's the song? And it just keeps escalating. It's like a pizza party, and then he ends up standing on a roller coaster ride and gets decapitated. And it's like, it's hilarious. Like, the lyrics in that song.
I love his polka mixes too, where he just mixes
polka.
A huge mash of.
I am not a fan of polka. I love the Polka King, the Jack Black being the Polka
so
King
good.
in that Netflix movie. But the polka genre is not my favorite, which is why again, I love the fact that he's doing parodies and the accordion is like his music of choice. It is a dumb instrument. I'm sorry. It's bulky, it's clunky, it's a windbag. It's hilarious. I love it. It's gotta be the
Apparently,
weirdest instrument.
apparently also like in real life, he did actually buy his first instrument was he bought an accordion from like a door-to-door salesman.
I believe it, dude. It's like,
Which who goes door to door selling?
women are gonna be
accordions?
lining up to meet you, man. What are you doing in my house?
Just starts beating him.
I feel like back in the day they were selling everything door to door.
They were,
Yeah.
dude.
It reminds me of secondhand lions.
Yeah.
Oh, really? I was
They
thinking
just-
of Napoleon Dynamite when they're selling like I
Oh,
need
that's
to.
it.
Your mom
Yeah, I
goes
just
to
think of
college?
secondhand lions when they just sit out on the porch with the shotguns.
Yeah, it's just all the realtors coming up.
He's like, "Hey, hear me out!
Yeah. I
Don't
love it.
shoot! Don't shoot!"
Oh, it's so great. My goodness, folks. So real quick, last thing, Cameron, I didn't hear from you. Did you have 3 favorite Weird Al music videos or songs?
Yeah, I just said Amish Paradise, probably Fat. No. Yeah, Fat. I like Fat way better than Eat It. Eat It made me
Yeah.
uncomfortable. And then I liked White and Nerdy.
White and Nerdy.
I do like Headline News as well. That was a fun one.
Oh, is that the by Crash Test Dummies or whatever? Yeah,
Yeah.
sounds great. And again, like what's so funny is like one of my favorite memories is like only seeing like a little snippet. I don't remember if he did the whole video, but he did like Living in the Fridge was one of my favorites. Like
Oh,
again,
yeah.
just I thought it was so funny because Living on the Edge by Aerosmith was like I love that original song, but again, hearing the parody, it's so hard to distinguish from them because like you sing the lyrics like like you sing you try to sing the lyrics, but if you don't know them, you can just always think of the Weird Al lyrics. I don't know how to explain that. Like,
Oh, we forgot
like,
to mention this here Anakin guy. We forgot to mention the Star Wars. That was
Oh,
a
yeah.
great one.
that was a great one. Yeah,
Yeah.
it tells the whole Star Wars trilogy and this Missed American Pie or whatever.
Oh, that is a good one.
He's
Yeah.
just 9 and she's 14,
Love.
but he's probably gonna marry her someday.
Yeah, it's great. He always makes these great jokes that, like, again, Star Wars fans would totally love it, and they're good parodies.
I still can't
overall.
even think of the regular. I struggle to like think of the regular lyrics without
Oh yeah,
thinking of.
oh yeah, for sure. Like one of my favorite music videos too is the "Smells Like Nirvana" is one of my favorites because Kurt Cobain famously hated Nirvana, that song that he did, and I love that he's making him like when he starts singing all those random lyrics, he's just like Nirvana.
Wait, so Kirk hated his own song.
He hated his own
Own
song,
song, okay.
and because he despised it. He's like, I guess he wrote the song, and it was like a song that it was kind of a throwaway, right? But everyone loved it. Like it became his most famous song. Smells Like Teen Spirit, and I just love the music.
Well, he's
video,
probably sick
how-
of playing it too, because everybody wants to hear it at
everyone
every
wants to hear it.
concert.
Exactly.
So you're like,
But
oh
I mean,
no.
it's a timeless song, and that song.
What
is
does he say? I'm
amazing.
not a monkey.
I'm at your performance. Like, you're all slaves, and he was like, "Don't work at factory jobs. Heaven knows what they make there." And then I love at the end when he's with what's his face. He's like, "What do we make here at the factory?" And he's like, "Your dad told me you'd be funny." And he walks away, and you never learn what they make at the factory. Another great underrated moment was so great when he's like, "So, Dad, how was your day at work?" And he's like, "Oh, I tried to save. We had another casualty. I watched him get ground up in front of me. I would have reached in and saved him, but I would have lost my other hand."
He's got a plastic hand.
Reminding me so much of Happy Gilmore with Chubbs. and
Mr.
his-
Deeds.
Oh wait, no, I'm thinking of Happy Gilmore with the alligator taking Chubbs' hand.
Oh, I was
Alligator
thinking of
popped right out. It took my hand.
I was thinking of Mr. Deeds with the guy with like sticks the ice pick in his hand. Oh, I can't feel nothing.
Or his
That-
foot.
his
Yeah.
foot, yeah.
His foot. Yeah. That's a lot of Adam Sandler things, but I love that. He's like got this fake wooden hand, and oh my gosh, it's so great. Oh my goodness, folks. Anyway, biggest laugh in this movie for me was laugh out loud moment was seeing the very end when he gets his award and he stands up to get shot. Some guy from Pablo Escobar was sent by Madonna to kill him. He's sitting there loading this giant submachine gun, and he's like loading like a belt round of ammunition, just sitting in the stands, and then he stands up and starts unloading it. And the movie ends, right? And you're like, Riddell shortly died thereafter, or whatever. You're like, oh my gosh. And Madonna continued to, has never heard of him again, or whatever, right? And I just love that at the end, the credits, the after credits.
No, he says Madonna's still at large today.
Madonna's still at large. Yeah. She doesn't. She's
good.
still at large, still running the drug ring. I thought that was so funny. But the machine gun going off, and then you just see him. His photo where he's like standing there, and you see like a moment where he's like terrified, and then he's just shot up. So funny. Like, it's just so irreverent, right? Because you don't see the photo of someone getting murdered or assassinated. And I just thought that was so funny that was included in the after credit scene, where, because you almost think, again, he almost gets you, because he puts like real photos of him growing up with his family, and then it's like, here's Weird Al getting all this accolades. You're like, that didn't happen though, and it doesn't. So and then he starts photoshopping these memories and then showing him getting shot up. It was just so good, like beginning, middle, and end. This movie's so funny. It's great. So check out Weird Al's body of work, man, because it's just so good. And thank goodness we have someone to parody, because I can't name a single other parody artist off the top of my head. Like, I know there's probably folks on YouTube that do things.
The
Lonely Island, that's a good one, but like they still did their own songs, right? They would parody like movements, because like they
wouldn't parody songs. They would
parody
mainly like parody just like genres, and just kind of like,
I'm on a boat, right? Yeah, it's like mocking like every rap hip hop artist, where they're always on a yacht, always partying. And
I've seen some
on a boat
parodies of like some music videos. Like there was some of I can't remember. I'd have to what's her name? Taylor Swift. There's like this one guy that did one of her famous songs.
I mean, if you want to see 3 parodies to Harry Potter 1, 2, and 3, you could just watch me and my other brothers parodies to that. They're masterpieces.
You still have those, Cameron? Do you have those?
They're on YouTube, yeah.
No way, dude. Send me a link. I remember helping. I helped film.
You filmed
2 of them.
You helped film 2 and 3, I think.
2 and 3. And I remember I also drove up as Ron Weasley, or I was ducked down because you're like, we need you to drive the car.
Yeah, then we just put it in reverse.
And I just put it in reverse. Anyway.
Oh, Cameron, did you say
gave no direction? You guys did everything. I just filmed whatever it is that you were doing, and I thought it was hilarious. Like,
it's so funny.
Oh, Cameron, you said Bart Baker. Is that who you said?
Bart Baker?
Okay. Anyways, he does parodies to famous people.
I did not say Bart Baker.
Oh, well, and then the other guys that
you said Bart Baker, right?
Bart Baker, and then the Merkins also, they do parodies. They dress up as like serial killers, and they did that parody to
you did that Halloween one, right?
Yeah, I'll kill you that way.
That's right. I'll kill you that way. You did send that one to me, and I was like, this is like right up towards alley, like this slapstick.
Oh, I listened to that a lot. 80s
references to horror movie. Yep, exactly. Yeah. So, yo, guys, do you have anything else you want to say about Weird Al or the movie? Check this one out.
I think most people will like it.
Yeah, and thankfully, it's just good, innocent fun for the most part. Like, I mean, it's TV-14, but
I do appreciate that.
Really good film, yeah. And I think that's in keeping with Weird Al. Like, he himself, like, is a pretty clean comedian, which I think it's easy to take the cheap joke and the profane joke, but I think it's great that he's very creative and very innocent. It kind of adds to the humor.
I'll take 10 of those movies over. Have you even looked at IMDb? Like, all those movies they announced, like they're gonna do a sequel to A Christmas Story, and then they're gonna do a sequel to they're gonna do a sequel to Enchanted. They're gonna do a sequel to Knives Out. They're doing a remake Pinocchio. They're doing a new Black
Knives
Panther.
Out is the only one that looks somewhat decent.
They're doing Zootopia, a new Zootopia. They're doing the second Avatar. They're doing another Ant-Man. I mean, I'm like, how many sequels?
Dude.
We're like drowning.
And again, so that's why I also wanted to shout out this movie. You can get it on Roku, folks. You can download it on your phone. You just need
you don't even have to
need a credit card.
Yeah,
that makes no sense to me.
I'm like, how are they making any money?
Roku's probably losing money, but you can buy it. You don't even have to have a Roku device, folks. Just download it. I watched without ads. I heard some people say you get ads. I didn't get a single ad when I watched.
I didn't get ads.
But I watched it. We all watched it from our phone. I don't know if there's an app somewhere else, because
interesting.
I tried both me and Cameron looked up the app on the Apple TV, and there is no app for it.
I think you have to have a Roku device, but you
Yeah,
can do
but
it on your phone.
You can get on your phone on an Apple phone, but
and
you
then
have to use
you
the app.
just
Screen mirror.
share
Screen
to
mirror.
your screen mirror to your
Well,
TV.
I
and there you
noticed
go.
too throughout the thing there's
Apple's
little
literally a cheater.
spots for
Yeah, there were
commercials.
spots where they were going to put commercials, but again,
I didn't
mine
see
didn't.
any.
I didn't
Yeah.
get any. So, folks, watch this movie. Download the Roku app, folks. Help Roku out. I think they're giving this movie away.
Just giving
And
it.
It's great. I love it, and that's the only place you can find it right now. I'm sure you can buy it on iTunes, but
Not
seriously, go. Oh, you can't. Yeah, so go check it out on Roku. It's hilarious. It's very funny, and yeah, it's an absolute joy. So. Would you guys recommend? Absolutely. Go check out Weird Al.
I don't know if I would recommend the movie. I would definitely recommend his music videos.
Yeah, his music videos.
Recommend both. His whole body of work. Just look at Weird Al.
I'm surprised, especially from like the bottom of our generation, like more my age. It's crazy how like many people like haven't heard of him. Like Kelsey's never heard of him. I'm like,
is that right? See, Maddie had heard of him, but like only knew of Amish Paradise. I showed her like
I only knew of it because of you guys. Because like growing up in the house, you guys loved it and you guys would play it fetching all the time. And I just remember Mom not liking that heavy metal one. She's like, I don't want that in my house.
Yeah. It's all about the Pentiums.
Yeah, all about the Pentiums.
I do remember that now. All about the Pentium. And then
well, no, that's two different songs. Yeah. You're thinking it's all about the Pentiums, baby. He's like, what does he say? Hackers, slackers. You're thinking of that one, but you're also quoting the Jewish one, the rabbi one, where he's talking about the what is the lyrics? Now I'm getting my Weird Al things confused, but yeah, you're thinking of Oise. The I don't remember what it's called.
Yeah.
All the girls singing "Pretty Fly for a Rabbi." Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I know. See, the songs stay in your head forever. Like he takes very iconic songs, and yet he turns them more memorable because of his goofy lyrics. And they're always funny. They're always absurd. They're over the top. They're ridiculous. And thank goodness we have Weird Al. So, folks, do you want to get into his movies that we've seen lately? Do you have time for that?
Yeah. No.
Why don't you hit us up, Cameron? What have you seen lately?
Oh, not too much. Just.
Proceeds to tell us a list of 50 movies you've seen.
No, just New Girl. I'm watching a lot of New Girl with Kels because she hasn't seen it.
And you've watched all the way through. You're rewatching it.
Yeah, I didn't finish the last season. The last season, I watched like 2 episodes, and it's booty cheeks.
Most last seasons of TV shows are absolute garbage.
Yeah. Well, comedies you could tell when they're on their way out because you're like, it's diminishing returns.
Well, that's what sucks. Is it was like the perfect finish of the second to last season. It was like like all relationships were just like in a bow, and then like episode 1 they just tried to like bring back all this random drama just to make the season.
Funny thing you say that, because I felt that way with season 1 when I was like, oh, this is like 24 episodes. Like it was like they're stretching you and stretching.
I think that's just I was just talking about that with some coworkers about like the Flash and Arrow and all those shows. I'm like, if they just did 10 episode seasons, like a lot of those shows actually be really solid. The problem is like their contracts many times are for 24 episodes for Netflix and other like things like that. And so they just like have the randomest drama where it's just like, oh, spend like 30 minutes debating about this conflict that we just made up in this episode that will be resolved in this episode. I'm like, this episode is so pointless. Like there's just so many filler episodes. It's kind of painful. But
well, and those are 40-minute episodes too, right? Those aren't like the 20-minute ones.
What, New Girl or
of the Flash and stuff?
Yeah, Flash.
Yeah,
and Arrow,
those are long
45
ones.
minutes. I'm like, goodness gracious.
Hey, that's nothing. I once watched a Stranger Things episode that was like 2.5 hours long.
Yeah, the back-to-back
Beckman, curse you.
And then what I'm looking forward to, there's actually a couple. Jordan recommended Coherence, which I'm interested to watch. No, not yet. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Oh, okay.
Look forward to that. Also a movie called Contra Tiempo, which is like, it's a foreign film. It's called The Invisible Guest. Apparently it's about some like lawyer who has like 3 hours to like prove that he's innocent or something like that. Or like so he's a super successful entrepreneur who like I think he's framed for something and he has like 3 hours to prove that he's innocent. And then I also just wanted to watch The Call, which is a Korean film, I believe, on Netflix. It sounds kind of like similar to what's the one with Count of Monte Cristo, Jim Caviezel. It's him and his dad. like they could call through time frequency.
Oh,
It looks
frequency.
kind of like
Oh,
Korean
that's great.
frequency
Yeah,
with like two girls. 'Cause it says that two girls can like talk, I think, between times. So it kind of is like the same vibe as frequency. So I'm gonna check that out. And then I want to watch Hush and Total Recall.
The
Which-
old one with
Yeah.
Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I still like the remake. I know a lot of people don't, but I enjoyed it.
It's entertaining. I like Colin Farrell. I think he's
Me
charming,
too.
but I always
I
feel
love
bad. I
Colin.
want him to keep getting work, but apparently he's gonna be set for life, making Penguins season 1 through 18.
Well, and he's still making movies with Martin.
Yeah, did he do another like collaboration with the guy that
McDonough?
did Lobster? Or yeah, what was the one? It was
No, not
weird and
Lobster.
artsy.
The same
In
guy that
Bruges
did In
again?
Bruges. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it
I
was
knew he
so
was doing one.
good. Yeah.
Was it good?
Oh yeah.
Okay, I'll check that one out because I took Jordan's recommendation. I watched the movie Barbarian, which I have so many thoughts about. So you guys did the podcast, right? Because I didn't listen to it because I
Yeah,
was worried about
sorry.
spoilers.
Yeah.
No worries. Don't apologize. So I just real quick want to say, yeah, it's so much like Don't Breathe. Like this is just a scene with a baby bottle. It's like, yeah. Cameron, have you seen Barbarian?
No, and I will not be watching
Dude.
Barbarian.
Oh, you need to watch it. It's great.
I know. I was asking Grant. I'm like, do you
Don't
think he would
breathe.
like it? And Grant's like, I don't know.
I mean, it's gross and like weird. Yeah, for sure. But like, it's like Don't Breathe. It's like a great thriller.
That's
It's
true.
very exciting. I think you'll get a kick out of it, Cameron. I loved it.
Oh
It's a
no,
cool
man, that trailer
hour and
was
40 minutes.
a lot.
I didn't watch the trailer, so I went in blind. I only saw the poster with the red door. I'm kind of glad because
I'm glad I didn't watch any trailer.
the
But the
movie-
trailer actually is very
Dude,
good at not spoiling
dude.
anything. I went back and rewatched it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But again, Cameron, like I said, the movie, it feels very much like Don't Breathe. So if you didn't like that movie at all,
Is
like,
it
definitely don't watch it.
like is it an emphasis on the turkey baster stuff? Or
Just
like,
one
Like,
scene.
there's one scene that
Yeah.
is exactly that.
It's basically that.
It's just a horrifying creature that wants to nurse its child. So take this baby bottle with this disgusting creature's milk. It's super disturbing.
It also looked like there was a hair on it, just like
No,
that
there
vial.
there definitely was a hair. Many hairs. And the creature's like,
baby.
You know what it reminded me of too? It reminded me of David Cronenberg's The Fly. It literally had the same ending as that.
Just drink the freaking milk.
Just drink it. I'm not drinking that shit. And then just like takes it away.
Dude, Justin Long was a revelation. He was amazing.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
I
It was
love
funny.
Justin
I didn't
Long.
even think of it as Justin Long. You did a good job. He kind of just
I was rooting for him. That sounds horrible, but I was like,
no, I don't think I ever was. In fact, I was
Well-
interested to. I thought it was pretty gutsy. The whole like.
no, he was
obviously there's a lot
horrible.
of-
Like he's a horrible human being. Obviously, I wouldn't root for
Right,
somebody
right.
in real life, but just his character.
Yeah, you don't want to see him like get what ended up happening. To
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
Like what a horrible fate. Yeah, but again, it is great because there's that scene where again, I won't spoil it for Cameron because you definitely should check it out. That because like I said, it's a really well done movie. It's like 92% Rotten Tomatoes right now and 90 something from critics or audiences and critics.
That's
Like
like
everyone
70 now, but
Oh, is it 70 now? It's still
maybe.
90
I
with
just
critics.
remember
It's 92 right now.
people
for
are
critics.
so divided on this movie. Like it's
Here's the thing.
hilarious.
It reminds me of like even like when Don't Breathe came out. Well, it was like 90. And now some people I looked at the reviews. They said like it's boring. I'm like, dude, it's called building
I know.
suspense. I love Bill Skarsgård in this movie. He did such a
I
good
go
job
back
with his character. Oh, you're leaving. Okay. Bill Skarsgård's character did so good. Now that Cameron's not here, I can talk about this. I don't know if he's listening on his headphones. I hope not. Cameron, stop listening if you are. I love Bill Skarsgård's character. He was the misdirect. That was
Yeah.
amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Him like
It's
I
like
thought
three
I knew what
separate
this movie
films.
was going to be. Yes, I
Yeah.
thought for sure. I was like, oh, I know what this is going to be. He killed the people that were coming to Airbnb here. But it turns out like he's totally legit. When he was like in the basement, she's like, "I'll going down there." I was like, "Don't go down there." That was the one bad character decision. But to be fair, they made mostly good decisions. I'm getting all excited. I knocked my mic over. They're made mostly good decisions for a horror movie. They don't usually do that. And it was so unsettling to watch Bill Skarsgård climbing out of the tunnel. I dropped the iPad I was watching, and I was like, ah! It scared me. I've been pranked before where someone was doing the Gollum Smeagol run like on the floor and scared me at night. Like I've had roommates and terrible.
Oh, it's
time.
terrifying.
It's so unnerving seeing someone at that height
and coming out from the dark, like pitch
from
black.
the dark. And they had 2 or 3 of those scenes that were so horrifying. Like, oh my gosh, you can see something like in the distance.
Yeah.
And it's like, moving toward you. Oh, it was so unnerving. It was so good.
Yeah.
So I had a great time. I was spooked. I was scared. It had social
laughed.
commentary. It was
Yeah.
I laughed. Yeah, it was a lot like a lot of people have made it like akin to like Get Out and stuff. I watched Red Letter Media's. I haven't finished their review on it, but like they talked about how it's kind of like Jordan Peele's Get Out, and yeah, like honestly, like there is a comment in commentary basically about like, you know, the time we live in and how men like could, you know, oppress women and stuff like that. And you're like, yeah, you see this horrible example of this man who I guess just kidnaps his wife and then keeps her in the basement and then inbreeds with the children with inside. It's horrifying.
Yeah.
And they're like, where did this tunnel come from? Like, you can suspend your disbelief enough. You're like, I guess this could happen, but there's this terrifying creature. It's kind of like a Frankenstein thing where you actually feel more empathy, or you feel bad for the creature, right? Because it's not.
Yeah.
Sounds like Goonies.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it has like elements from a lot of films, but it's I would give them the benefit of the doubt and say like they did a really good job at executing this film. So I think in less capable hands. And the director of this movie, he's only done like one other thing years ago, but yeah, it's like one of his debut alone, because he did one with his friend. It was one of the Whitest Kids You Know, I think. You guys remember those comedies?
Yeah, he didn't, but that's something I think he acted in or wrote with, but he made another film.
Right. But I'm saying, but this is like his first time doing it alone, and they're calling
no,
his
but the
debut, 'cause I
Whitest
think he wants to
Kids You
separate.
Know is a whole separate thing. I think he acted in that, and then he directed another movie.
He directed this movie, right? Oh, I thought it was, who was the director?
No, he co-directed another movie. I don't know the name of that.
It didn't do well. Yeah,
but then the Whitest Kids You Know is a whole nother thing he did. That's you just made it
Oh,
sound like it was
sorry,
the
sorry.
same
The
project.
Whitest
Those
Kid
are
is not
two
the movie.
separate
Yeah,
things.
The Whitest Kids You Know were like an internet YouTube series that, you know, just really funny,
Yes, he
funny
was a part
sketch
of that.
comedy.
Yeah.
Well, basically like the Human Giants type. But yeah, Zach Krager, he did, like I said, he did this other movie because they got a movie deal. Yeah, and he's one of the Whitest Kids You Know. It's actually him. And anyway, it's just funny to see him now making a film, and I'm like, hey, you have it as a director now. You're in the bag. I mean, you have a critically successful hit. If he makes another film like this, you're on your way, kid.
I know. I hope he makes like Jordan Peele movies, like comedy horror films.
Yeah, comedy horror with like a political social commentary, which I don't mind, especially when it like is the story. Like that's my favorite part about this, because it's like I've seen this story so many times. Like She-Hulk tries to do their version of it. It just is so stupid. It like hurts me how dumb it is. This one's like intelligent and it's very clever, and it makes me feel something and kind of witness something horrific. And I'm totally on board with like your message. I'm like, yeah. I would just argue that they made motherhood look like a horror thing. My wife loves being a mom, so I don't know. Maybe she wouldn't like this movie, or the movie's not speaking to her. But maybe some women would feel like it's like this. They're some creature locked in a basement. Guys, work harder to provide your wives with a better life. Don't make her feel like the creature in Barbarian. And I will say, there was definitely some moments that were barbaric, but like again, I would say like this movie makes you think it's a lot more gruesome and grisly. There's definitely scenes of it, but it's almost as tame as Don't Breathe. Like, yeah, it's horrific when the blind guy kills one or two people, but it's not like this isn't the Terrifier, if that makes sense. Like I tried to watch the Terrifier, Jordan. That movie sucks. You're a sick man. I love you to death, but don't watch the Terrifier, folks. I don't know why you love that movie. It's weird. You know what? I will give you the benefit of the doubt. I like the idea of a creepy clown going into a restaurant and just staring at you the whole time. Very unnerving.
Wait, which one did you watch? The first or second?
I tried to watch the first one.
No, first one's horrible. You're supposed to watch the second.
Well, the
second one is like Victor Crowley. The first one is just disturbing.
No kidding, Sherlock. It is disturbing. I'm here to tell you, don't ever take Jordan's recommendations. Take every other one. Terrifier, terrible. Barbarian.
Terrifier 2. Really, I did not recommend Terrifier. I know you didn't,
but you did recommend. You recommended Terrifier 2. And I was like, why would I not watch the first one?
You don't need to. It's just like Victor Crowley. I didn't tell you to watch Hatchet 1, 2, and 3. I just said skip to the fourth one, and we watched Hatchet, the Victor Crowley, which is the fourth one in the series. What?
I said not to watch Nightmare on Elm Street 1 through 8. I said watch 9 or the remake.
Yeah, because there's a good one in there.
I know there is, dude. I'm teasing you, Jordan. I know you never told me to watch Terrifier. I never said you made me watch. You told me to watch Terrifier 2, and I was like, why would I not watch the first one?
Well, you shouldn't.
Dumb.
I did not tell you to.
So now I'm like, I don't know if I even care to watch Terrifier 2.
Fine, don't.
But you loved it, and a lot of people seem to love it. And now I'm like, I'm torn.
Did you even check the reviews on the first one? They're horrible.
Oh, well, there you go. No, I did. I just went in blind because I'm not watching trailers for movies anymore. I'm like, just go. I have such a newfound respect of like just organically finding movies and being like, hey, talk to me, man. And I watch it and I'm like, yeah, great. Like Weird Al. I never saw the trailer. Oh no, that's not true. I did see one teaser for it. I mean, like, that's all I need to see. I don't want to see the funniest parts. I don't want to see a longer trailer. I just knew they were coming out with a Weird Al movie and we went and saw it, or went and saw it. So anyway, I've been watching reality TV show called The Mole. It's highly addictive. It's terrible. It's like a game show, and everyone's trying to sabotage them. Go check it out. Very addicting. I also watched the what's it called? It's digital heroin. It's called Love Is Blind. Have you guys watched that? That show's the worst, the absolute worst that Netflix has to offer. And I just love watching memes after watching the season 3. That show is terrible. People go into the social experiment. They propose to people that they've never yet met. They talk through a wall without seeing each other, and then they like get married or they don't. And it's based off this emotional connection they made. And they're like, is love really blind? I'd like to see more representation. I want giant, fat, overweight people, morbidly obese, not just the slightly bigger people. I want to be represented there. And I want some people in wheelchairs. I want some like little people.
Brother.
I want to see more representation because I want to know if love is truly blind, because they always get like these really handsome people and really beautiful women to pair up and you're like, oh, love must be blind. I'm like, you got a bunch of supermodels. They're going to figure it out. They're going to be all right. I mean, anyway, it would be a cruel trick because then it's like I made an emotional connection with this person and now I'm not physically attracted to them. That would be an intense TV show. Of course, no one would get married. Maybe they would. And then I'd be like, holy crap, that's real love right there for you, folks. Anyway. Digital heroin. Don't watch it.
Or worst. It'll be like the end of Lobster, and he'll just stab himself in the eyes so he doesn't have to see his wife.
Spoiler. I forgot. I need to have that to my watch.
I forgot that was the end of Lobster, dude. Yeah, what was that all about, dude? It was nuts. Yo, what else? George, what have you seen lately, man?
I've been watching Community for the 3rd time with my wife. I love Community.
Love Community.
Dude, Dan Harmon is one of the best writers.
Dude, what is this with Rick and Morty? Like,
I'd say like every other episode is good.
No, but yeah. I mean, like with the latest season, it's like they stop it for like half a year or whatever. I'm like, I thought they worked out all the kinks. I thought you just release it like a normal TV show, but no, they're like, yeah, we're gonna need like 3-month break after we release half the season. I'm like, oh my gosh. Anyway,
yeah.
Bless their hearts, though. As long as they're just funny, and some are going to be dark.
Wait, are you going to talk about Saint Maud, Ty? You watched that too?
Invincible needs to fetch and come out with a new season.
Thank you. Saint Maud was great, guys. Galadriel from Rings of Power, dumbest TV show of all time, like so forgettable. And I say dumbest because it was the most expensive of all time. That's a pretty incredible feat, where you have the most expensive TV show of all time being so forgettable. That's sad. Sorry, Amazon. Byron Shots here. Galadriel, the actress that plays Galadriel, she's really good in this movie called Saint Maud. It's like a really good film.
So good.
Cameron, this is another good one, but I don't think you should watch this one.
You should not watch this one.
Don't watch Saint Maud. But again, to be fair, Saint Maud has like a little bit of the weird, creepy stuff in it. Like
what Ty says creepy, it's demonic at the very end.
Is it demonic though?
Well, okay, so that's what I love is the dubious ending.
Yes, dubious. It's a mystery.
Yeah.
It is ambiguous, as they say.
Well, because throughout the film, there's little things that you're like, okay, she's clearly seeing things. So her seeing the guy reliable. Saying like, you know,
she literally envisions angel wings. She thinks she's been sainted, and she's like, I just killed a demon, therefore I get my angel wings. Everybody watch me as I set myself on fire and ascend to heaven. And then it's like, ah! The very last second of the screen where you see her like looking up to the heavens and everyone's bowing down, like you think that they're like awestruck, but they're horrified what they're seeing. A woman literally burning to death before their eyes. Like, can you imagine you went out to the beach that day expecting a nice calm walk on the beach and you watch someone literally set themselves on fire? It's nuts.
It's definitely, it totally reminds me of like Midsummer and like Hereditary.
Yes, like, but like almost like a little more intimate, obviously, because it's very small cast. And I really liked that.
Well, the first half, the relationship between her and her like person she takes care of, loved it.
Yes. It had to feel like M. Night Shyamalan almost in a way, right?
Yeah. Oh, I totally thought of his latest film, Servant.
Yes. Or well, that's
Or
a show,
TV
right?
series, sorry.
Yeah.
He did the
But
first
yes,
episode.
did
but-
remind me of The Servant. I did
Yeah.
have thoughts of that, but it also reminded me a little bit of Split. Just what else was it? There was another movie just like this too, but like, yeah, again, Saint Maud was great. So again, another good recommendation, Jordan.
Yeah.
You're 2 for 3. All right. So
No, I didn't recommend Terrifier for 1, so that does not count. I'm 2 for 2.
I love he's gonna take it so personally. Why do you own the movie then if it's so terrible?
I
You
didn't say it was
bought
terrible. I said I don't recommend it. I love it. I do not recommend it.
Oh, that's very interesting, folks. You heard it here first, folks.
There's plenty of films that I don't recommend that I love. I like slasher flicks. They're my guilty pleasure. What's your guilty pleasure?
My
Cameron's
guilty
is time
pleasure
travel.
is Weird Al Yankovic.
Oh,
He is my
brother.
guilty pleasure. Yeah. So, what else have you been watching, Jordan? I watched Saint
Cameron.
Maud. Thank you. You have to catch me up on things I've seen. I haven't
Well,
been doing a good job.
It's Cameron. I said Community.
Are you still going, Cameron? Yeah. You still going?
No, I already got.
No, he
I already-
finished.
Oh,
Yeah.
all
What
right.
else, Jordan? What have you been watching? And what have I been watching? You know what I've been watching.
I
so
know, right?
Refresh. You can see it from where you're at. I can't see.
Well,
where
I did just
should've
buy
brought it.
Smile or Smiley or whatever it's
Oh,
called.
I'm gonna watch
so-
that.
Smile.
I heard it was okay. From some folks. some
Exactly.
people.
It's okay. Like I enjoyed
okay.
it. I'd say parts of it were so good, and the other parts I was like laughing really hard, and I'm like, I don't know if I'm supposed to be laughing. So
I liked the scare in the theater. It ruined it, but like her head swinging down from the car. I thought
Yeah,
that was
okay,
a really well
well-
done scare.
and Wyma said it really well. There's a lot of moments that were done better in like It Follows because it's a lot like that. And it's that head spinning that was totally in a movie called this one I do recommend, Ty.
Oh,
Terrified, not Terrifier. Terrified.
Guys, I did not tell you to watch Terrifier. I told
I
you to watch
didn't.
Terrified.
No, Terrified and Terrifier 2. Those are ones. And the new
I like an idiot watched 28 days.
and the new
instead of
Halloween.
watching 28 days later.
That was from The Office.
It was.
And then the new Halloween movie was also very good. And
I do
the Red
wanna
Letter
watch
Media
that
can
one.
back me up on that one. So
I well, after watching their synopsis of it, I do want to watch it now because
Yes.
I'm like, I like the concept because again, I've always thought that was kind of where they were eventually leading to. It's like, what keeps this human being alive? Is he really human? He's like the embodiment of evil. So why would it not transfer? But I like that concept. And then I don't understand people that are like, it's not the original lore. They're trying to change it. I'm like, how many Halloween movies do you fetching need, folks? Like, that's what drove me crazy about The Barbarian. They were like a snooze fest. And I'm like, it's called building suspense. Like, do you need jump? Like, how stupid are we becoming? Like, I see people that review The Witch, Babadook, Barbarian, and
Yeah.
they said snooze fest. And I'm like, it's called building a story, building characters that I care about. If you really want like the dumb teen, like go watch The Nun, the 28th movie of the Conjuring universe. Like it's all those.
Clinton
movies,
just
dude.
watched it. He said it was the most garbage movie he's
It's
ever
so
seen.
garbage, but that era is dead now. Like Conjuring was great, and it literally spawned millions of movies after it. I hope more movies like The Barbarian come out, dude. Like very interesting, very well thought out, good stuff. So anyway, anything else have I seen, Jordan? I love that you have the list of movies. Go through it. Have I watched anything else?
No, but
like I said, game shows. Oh, British Baking Show. I'm always watching that. So it's like season 10 now. Holy crap!
well, I
And,
try to get you to watch the segment of VHS, the same director that did
That's right.
Deadstream, but it's okay. I think our subscription's up because our month is over. But
Oh
um,
yeah. That's right. Well, I
but-
tried to watch The Watcher. Was it? Yeah. I tried to
oh,
watch
did you
that one
watch
too.
it?
I fell asleep to it, but I started it because
Oh,
I just finished.
it is pretty
Deadstream, which I
slow.
love. Yeah. Well, just
But-
to be fair, I stayed up like by 2 a.m. and by that time I was ready to fall asleep.
That one I'm also gonna buy. So yeah, you'll have to watch that. So
Watcher.
I love it. It's a very slow paced film. Yeah, so it is easy to fall asleep to. But
I love the slow pace. I love the slow suspense.
Oh, yeah.
And the suspense builds. Love
a
it.
lot of my favorite movies put me to sleep. So
Oh, I watched Kill Bill again. Most amazing movie ever. Kill Bill Volume 1, and then I'm gonna watch Kill Bill 2. What is wrong with you, Cameron?
Overrated.
Oh my word. Says the guy that can't stop talking about Tarantino's films on the podcast.
I know.
yeah, I know. I'm
Kill Bill
surprised,
is
Cameron, you didn't
amazing.
talk
Kill Bill-
about Inglourious B.
I know. I think it's like the first episode in 100 episodes.
You're nuts. You're nuts. That's all you can say. But anyways, any last minute thoughts you wanted to say? Any other movies I should check out?
The
Terrifier.
the reason I'm wanting to watch
Terrified.
the reason I want to watch Total Recall is because I saw this this Arnold Schwarzenegger audio on TikTok that I think you guys would appreciate. It's just hilarious. Friggin' Arnold Schwarzenegger, dude, he's the weirdest human being ever. I literally feel like he is an android. Like no one can be just like that personality and that large of a human being.
All right, folks, this has been the Futro Hidden Movie Gems. We love you, listeners. Leave us an email, futuremovies@gmail.com. Check us out on Instagram. Check us out on
check out Ty's
Spotify.
other podcast.
I do
Fathers with
podcast,
Concerns.
Fathers with Concerns.
I know you don't like the title, but I've listened
I love
to
it.
your
No, I
episodes
love
and
it.
they're great.
It makes me laugh. It makes me laugh because I don't like the title, but to me that's good. I shouldn't like the title because I am a father with concerns. I just have a few concerns. Folks, this has been Future Hidden Movie Gems signing out. Peace.
Peace.
Bye.